Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for me. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one.
The number you have dialed does not exist. Please check the number and call again.
I'm so hollow. I'm so hollow, baby.
People don't see what's coming, and they don't see if people are struggling. Not because they don't care, never because they don't care. We're all so busy in this crazy life. If people are jovial and they seem happy, they sort of bounce along, and nobody really notices if somebody's really suffering. So please, 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 if anybody's suffering, please speak out and ask for that help.
What's the time?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host of the BFBS Big Quiz Night In, Chaka Dolphy.
Oh, sorry, it's a bit choppy out there. Oh, blimey. Not as choppy as the A1 though, or, yeah, anyway. Dominic Cummings free zone here, okay? No Dominic Cummings gags, please. Insert Dominic Cummings gag. Anyway, move on. Welcome along, BFBS Quiz Night In number 8. Sorry for a few delays. Pretty much every computer in this building has decided to stop working this afternoon. How are you doing? How's it going? Lots of you back for more. Welcome along. Got a few cracking rounds tonight. Honestly, you're in for an absolute treat, I promise you. Look who we've got here. How are we doing? Welcome along. Names coming in. More computers not working. It's a beautiful day. I mean, week number 8, the shackles have come off. There's no coincidence here that the restaurants and bars have opened up in Cyprus and it was a bank holiday weekend and nothing seems to work. There we go. Just give us a quick few moments and we'll be back up and running. Honestly though, the seas were a nightmare earlier. Clearly. Choppy start to proceedings today. We will be getting underway very shortly. Round number 1, I'll tell you, is a Beatles round. Here we are. Bosh, we're back in. Apologies for that. Right, I can see you all now. Halloumi Baloney, Epi retired, Mr. Integrity, for Ashton, Kermit Goose says hello, peeps. The Dashers. My mum's car. Abby says finally, exclamation mark. Tell me about it, Abby. Been buzzing for this. Had to wait an extra 10 minutes. Mark says the Dominic Cummings approach, keep them waiting. Come on, none of that. I say all this, I've got a whole round dedicated to London to Durham. There we go. Lordy No Cheat, the Dashers. Fluffy Pop Chick says they were down the pub. It's all lies. It's not true. Laser Beams. The Dashers, Sunburn Sausage, nearly 150 of you tonight. Welcome along, BFBS, Big Quiz Night In, number 8. You've waited enough, let's get on with it. Fluffy Pop Chick, stay alert. Dan says, must be quiz night waiting for Lordy shouting from the bogged in. Very funny stuff. Let's crack on with it. Let's get on with round number 1. It is the Beatles round. 1967 was the debut of the Sgt. Pepper Lonely Heart Club Band album release, so we've got a round dedicated to the Beatles. Let's get on with it, the legends themselves. Question number 1 tonight. What was the original name of the band? Was it the Cockroaches, Johnny and the Moondogs, the Blackjacks, or Iron Butterfly, the original name of the Beatles? Please, over 60 years old now, what do you reckon the answer is? Whew. Just have to wipe the brow sweat off my forehead. Tense start to proceedings here at BFBS Big Quiz Night in HQ. It was the Blackjacks. Well done if you put the Blackjacks. Originally, before they were formed, they were in fact called the Blackjacks, not the Beatles. Well done to Whack, off to a good start. Frayne HQ as well, Ginger Chicks, and I believe Gabs potentially is my mother. So you know where you get the brains from. Question number 2. Who was the founding member of the Beatles? Was it John Lennon, George Harrison, Paul McCartney, or Ringo Starr? Who out of that quartet there was the founding member of arguably the greatest band of all time? Who was it? Was it John Lennon, George Harrison, Paul McCartney, or Ringo Starr? Let's have a look. A few more to come in. It was in fact John Lennon. Of course, notoriously one of the more famous ones out of the 4. John Lennon was the correct answer. Well done to Frayne HQ, now at the top of the leaderboard, and discombobulated. It's a nice word. Question number 3 of the Beatles round. What was the first film that the Beatles starred in? Appeared in lots of different films. Was it Yellow Submarine, Help, Imagine, or A Hard Day's Night? Which was the first film that the Beatles starred in? This is a tricky little question because a few of them actually came out at very, very similar times. So try and work that one out, try and rule a couple out on the timings. Well done. If you put A Hard Day's Night coming out first, back in the 70s, has that done anything to the leaderboard? Yes, it has at this early stage. Well done to Granny Gibbs, moving up 85 places. And the Dukes now at the top of the leaderboard, all still pretty close up the top. Champagne Crew, good evening to you, up into 4th place. Come on, Champagne Crew, you're always popping up the leaderboard, never there at the end. Tonight is the night. Question number 4. What is the total number of songs that the Beatles recorded? Is it 476, 305, 281, or 73? So do you reckon it was a lot? Do you reckon it wasn't so many? How many songs did the Beatles record when they were active? A few more to come. Have a punt. If you don't know it, just press one of the buttons. You might get it right. It was 305. That's a lot of records. 305 songs they recorded. 7 of you have got 3 on the trot now. Well, remember, those streaks are very important. You rack up more points, the bigger the streak you can get. Someone who started off well is the Spider, now top of the leaderboard. And it's all chop and change. We've got Shadash now in 3rd place. The Squares in 4th. And Simply Me, who I assume is playing by themselves, sneaking onto the leaderboard in 5th place. Let's have another Beatles question. The final one of the Beatles round. What is Ringo Starr's real name? There he is, top man. Isn't he a cool bloke? Is it Richard Starkey, Rory Storm, Rain Stevens, or Reginald Dwight? What is Ringo Starr's real name? I hate these questions because you never know them. You just know him as Ringo, don't you? It was, let's have a look, see what you've all put. It was in fact Richard Starkey. Well done, lots of you getting that one right. A few of you put in Reginald Dwight. I'm afraid that's actually Elton John's real name. Well done if you put Richard Starkey. That concludes our Beatles round on the 53rd anniversary of the Sgt. Pepper album. Don't forget you can drop us a message on the sidebar. Let us know how you're doing, what's happening, any naff Dominic Cummings jokes you fancy throwing at us as well. Round number 2, talk of the devil, is comings or goings. You're going to have 5 questions on the London to Durham journey. That is it. You don't have to know anything about politics or anything. This is purely apolitical. This is all about the journey from London to Durham. Here we go. Question number 6, number 1 of comings or goings. What is the exact distance, which you might have heard a few times lately, between London and Durham? Is it 244 miles, 254, 264 or 274 miles? What is the exact distance between London and Durham? I think if you've listened to the radio once or just looked at a front page of a newspaper or clicked on a web page with a bit of news on, you might be able to know this answer. What is the exact distance between London and Durham? It is actually 264 miles. And apparently you can do it in one hit. It's a long drive. It moves the Spider up to the top. Well done to the Spider. 7 of you, 4 on the trot. Let's have another comings or goings question, please. Which road runs all the way from London to Durham past Peterborough and Doncaster? Is that the A1, the M1, the M11 or A40 pictured there? Which road runs all the way from London to Durham past Peterborough and Doncaster? There's one road that goes up towards Birmingham and there's one that just continues all the way up. Can you work it out? Sort of run alongside each other. Apparently a bit of traffic on that road on Sunday. It was in fact the A1. I'm afraid the M1 is just the left, stops up at Birmingham Way. The A1 continues all the way up the right hand side. Well done. If you put A1, that moves the Pearlies up into 4th place. Well on the Pearlies. And D into 5th. Charmaine is on the side hustle, making a little side bet at Dan Pritchard. Winner buys the next Polis. For those not in the know, there's a cracking meze that have just got a free plug. There we go. Very nice food. Here is another comings or goings question. What would be the cost of a single fare from King's Cross train station to Durham departing at 07:33 tomorrow morning? Is that 105 quid, 125 quid, 145 quid or 165 quid? All I know is that is an absolute rip-off. I'm not sure it's worth it, to be honest. Hoping we haven't got any Durham players playing along. Good evening if you are from Durham. No hate here. A lovely city. It is in fact £165. Of course, only travel to Durham tomorrow morning. It is essential. Well done if you put £165. The Dukes did, and they've snuck back onto the leaderboard. Well done. Let's have another comings or goings question, please. Which popular beauty spot in Teesdale is a supposedly good drive from Durham to test your vision? Is that Engleston Abbey, Barnard's Castle, St Giles Church or Durham Cathedral? Obviously a bit of a current affairs question there as well. Have you been listening to the news? Which popular beauty spot in Teesdale is a supposedly good drive from Durham to test your vision? Get your guesses in. And I will reiterate that this quiz is definitely no sort of medical advice. Don't actually do this. But yeah, it is indeed Barnard's Castle. Don't be driving half an hour out your way to test your vision. Hasn't done a lot to the leaderboard. Well done, a lot of you getting that. And including the Taylors, now 3 in a row. Good evening to you, well done. Keep the streak going. Ashton says, big up the Ashton 1 Sky Road crew. Good evening to you fellas. Here we go, final comings or goings question. Which of the following is not a service station on the A1? Do you know your services? Is it Grantham North, South Mims, Blythe or Wetherby? Any Gavin and Stacey fans? You might know your service stations. Or just any service station fans in general. I know there's a few out there. Which one, though, is not a service station on the A1? It is, in fact, South Mims. Well done. A decent amount of service station knowledge coming in from you lot tonight. Well done. Over half of you getting that one right and putting South Mims, including the Pearlies, who are now up into second, and Team Gates, who are back in it with 3 in a row. Let's move on to the next round. Before we do, a quick birthday message to Tom Murphy's mum. He says, happy birthday, mother. Hashtag Sedgley Massive. Happy birthday to you, Senior Tom. Round number 3 is a firm favourite. It is Family Fortunes, or Family Feud, for any colonial friends we have playing along tonight. Let's have our first Family Fortune question this evening. Name something people buy to show they are successful. Jewellery, a house, a suit, or a car. Maybe have a little think. If you've won something or you've had a bit of a pay rise, what are you going to buy? Is it jewellery, house, suit, or car? Slightly self-indulgent question, that. What is the answer, though? I'll tell you the truth, it is very tight. Although a lot of you streaks ahead, it is indeed car. Well done. House was actually very close second place, so well done for sussing that one out. It was indeed car. 45 of you now, 3 in a row. Not a lot of change on the leaderboard. Good evening to Kermit, who is getting in touch again. He says the potatoes smell fresh. I don't really know what that means. I hope it's something not too untoward, and I hope you enjoy your potatoes. There we go. Anyway, before that gets a bit weird, we'll move on to our second Family Fortune question. Name something you would hate to find under your bed. Is that a monster, food, snake, or spider? I tell you what, if you asked me this last week, cockroach. And it wasn't under my bed, it was on my bed. Horrible stuff. Name something you would hate to find underneath your bed. Have a little think. What would you hate to find? And no rude answers, please. It is in fact monster. Monster is the correct answer. Perhaps this survey, there's quite a few children. It'd be a bit worrying if there were quite a few mature adults taking the survey, scared of monsters. Well done to Imps, good evening to you. 3 in a row, and good evening to Meals on Wheels as well, now in 5th place, and Curly in 4th place. Swagger C4 says vibe check. Abby says hi mum. Lots of messages coming in. Keep them coming along the sideboard. Dan has replied to Charmaine. Polis and a Keo sounds great. Then back to the King's Tipple. Sounds like a proper evening, that. Who's paying for it though? Good luck to both of you. Next question, please. And I mean, I'm waiting for my invite as well, Dan and Charmaine. Name something a customer might do to annoy a waiter or waitress. Is that flirt, send food back, not tip, or snap fingers? What do you reckon? Think about it. If you've ever done the shift in a cafe or a restaurant, I have. I know exactly what annoys me when I used to work in a cafe. And it certainly wasn't flirting. It is indeed sending food back. That does annoy a waiter or waitress the most. I'm afraid 95 of you put snap fingers. Maybe I gave it away there. It is quite annoying, but no, sending food back I guess is probably the more common one rather than snapping fingers. Space Yeti 76 now up into 3rd place. Well done. Abby is getting very involved tonight. And well done to Dan. He says, I was invited last week to Polis. I think I was actually. There we go. Move on. Next question, please. I've dug myself a very deep grave already there. Name something people like to do whilst listening to music. Exercise, study, clean, or garden? What do you reckon? Name something people like to do while listening to music. Exercise, study, clean, or garden. All this talk of meze is making me a bit peckish. So no more No more polished chats popping up on the bottom, please. Name something people like to do whilst listening to music. It is in fact clean. I think a bit off the boil tonight. 108 of you putting exercise. I'm afraid it is clean. A very hygienic and slightly scared survey we had here. Let's see what that's done to the leaderboard. Only 34 of you getting that right. Yeah, a few changes there. Shadash now up into second. A few of you losing your streak, I'm afraid. And Mills on Wheels back on the leaderboard into 5th place. Champagne Crew, I said it might be your night. I don't want to talk too soon, but you're at the top of the leaderboard. Let's have another family fortune question, please. Name some place a teenager complains about having to go. So if you're playing with a teenager along now, this is your time to shine. Is it work, family function, school, or shopping? Think about this one. Teenager, what sort of things at that age would you not like to do? Work, perhaps family function, unwanted family occasion, or as I like to call it, a UFO. School or shopping? It is in fact school. Well done if you put school. I think the logical answer there, just purely due to the frequency and the importance of school at that age. Well done to the Pearlies sneaking back on, and well done to Wed Widinghood, now up into big streak, up 20 places. Abby Grace says Team Milton Keynes for the win. There we go. Let's have another question, please. Keep the messages coming, very much enjoying them. It is in fact a new round actually. This one is all about video games, round number 4 tonight, all about video games. I don't know, a lot of you perhaps playing your video games throughout the lockdown period, so if you have, this is your chance to shine. Round 4, all about video games. Here we go. Which game is this which has had a recent surge in popularity? Look at that photograph. Is that Animal Crossing, Wii Sports, Nintendogs, or Sims? You're going to get a load of pictures in this round. Which game is this which has had a recent surge in popularity? Everyone seems to be playing it throughout lockdown, except for me. Which game is that in that photograph? Work it out. Is it Animal Crossing, Wii Sports, Nintendogs, or Sims? It is Animal Crossing. Well done to 95 of you putting Animal Crossing. A few of you, maybe perhaps showing your age a bit, putting Sims. I'm afraid not. Well done to Space Yeti, and 11 of you, 3 in a row. Let's have another video game question, please. Another photograph. Can you work out which video game is this in the photograph? Is that Resident Evil 3, Borderlands, Final Fantasy VII, or Fortnite? Which video game is that? And I tell you what, I'll be absolutely useless in this round. I know some of you will be licking your lips. Some of you will be hiding behind the sofa. It's a difficult round or it's a perfect round. I feel like you're either gamer or you're not. So up the gamers out there, this one's for you. Which video game is that? It is Final Fantasy VII, perhaps a few more gamers amongst us than I know. That's moved Halloumi Baloney up into 4th place. Well done to Halloumi Baloney. Well, let's have another video games question. Number 3, here we go. Which classic sporting game is this? This is a bit tricky, I won't lie to you. Is that FIFA 98 Road to the World Cup? The original Pro Evolution Soccer, International Superstar Soccer, or Kickoff? I'll give you a clue, this did come out before 2000. So there we go. Which classic sporting game is that? Have a guess if you don't know it. You're better off answering. You have to be in it to win it. One of those 4 is right. Which one is it? It is FIFA 98 Road to the World Cup. The kit's perhaps giving it away there. One of them was in a French kit and the other one in a goalkeeping kit. So there we go. That was a difficult one, I will admit that. But still, the large majority of you getting that one right. Well done. Well done to Iz, who has snuck onto the leaderboard into 4th place. And Esme the Pooh, 3 in a row. Less of the feces names for next week, please. Which video game is this? Another photo of a video game in situ. Is that Battlefield 3? Is that Halo? Is that Call of Duty World at War or Call of Duty Modern Warfare? Again, I simply have no idea. I even made this question earlier and I still can't even remember, even just looking at that photo, what that game is. Not a gamer. But, come on, out there, I know a lot of you been playing a lot of games lately. That is indeed Call of Duty World at War. I'm underestimating how big a gaming community we've got here on the BFBS Big Quiz Night In. It's a storming round. 93 of you getting that one right. Not a lot change up top. Let's have another video game question, please. Kermit says he lost his streak on that one. I'm afraid sometimes it's just not your day, Kermit. Here we go. Which version of a rebellious video game is this? Is that Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, or Grand Theft Auto 5? And I'm not going to give it the old, oh, this is a tough one, because clearly they're not that hard if you know your games. Which classic rebellious video game is this? And you think it's Grand Theft. If you're waiting for the answers to come on and look at the photo, oh, it's Grand Theft Auto. It's Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Again, quite a few of you getting that one right. Well done to Mercedes, who's making a comeback 3 in a row, and Squares now into 5th place. Champagne Crew still storming ahead. It could be your night. And Mills and Wills also in 2nd place. Let's have another round. Round number 5 is recipes. We're not going to bother with a break tonight. We've given you enough delays, so we'll go straight in with round number 5. All about your grub. It's going to make me even more hungry. A shepherd's pie is a mixture of meat and vegetables topped with what? Is that rice, mashed potatoes, macaroni, or cauliflower florets? A shepherd's pie is a mixture of meat and vegetables topped with what? You've even got a photographic clue there. 151 of you have answered. Come on, let's see how close we can get to full marks on this one. Come on. There's some shepherd's pie fans amongst us. Macaroni, 2 of you. And 1 of you putting cauliflower. I mean, don't invite me around for tea if you're going to put cauliflower on top of your shepherd's pie. 148 out of 151 though, putting shepherd's pie. The Squares capitalising on a quick answer there up into 3rd place. And Norfolk and Good now 3 in a row. Well done. Next question, please. Another recipe with a missing ingredient. So chilli is typically made up of ground beef, tomatoes, onion, chili powder, and which of the following ingredients? Is that bell peppers, carrots, kidney beans, or peas? This is your traditional chili con carne, please. It's no vegetarian one. This is a pure chili with your ground beef. Which goes with what? Get your answers in. Waiting for a couple more. Again, I'm hoping we've got a few chili con carne fans amongst us. I feel like we will. We do indeed. 7 of you putting bell peppers. Again, I don't know if that's a special delicacy around your house, but 141 of you, of course, putting kidney beans. Again, not a lot of change, but 30 of you now 3 in a row. Again, I'll remind you, keep those streaks going. There's a bit of beef going on, pardon the pun, at the bottom there. Claire says Kermit juice smells. Hope that's referencing Kermit who's playing along and not Kermit the Frog. And Kermit's come straight back saying Claire smells. Really, really mature playing along tonight. Let's have another question, please, before this descends into playground insults. If you want to bake bread, you will need water, sugar, flour, and what other ingredient? Is that baking soda, cumin, yeast, or cream of tartar? If you want to bake bread, you'll need those ingredients and which other ingredient? Don't know if you've been making banana bread at home or a banana loaf during the lockdown period. This is your time to shine. It is indeed yeast, of course. 145 of you putting yeast, 5 of you putting baking soda, and 1 person putting cream of tartar. Very bizarre stuff. Let's see if that's done anything up the top. Unexpectedly, no. Tom, though, back in the game, 3 in a row. Next question, please. Hummus, of course, a bit of a Cypriot delicacy, typically contains tahini, lemon juice, garlic, olive oil, and which other ingredient? Is it chickpeas, kidney beans, pinto beans, or black beans? What do you reckon? Hummus contains those ingredients, and which other one? Have a think if you've ever made homemade hummus, or perhaps the taste you get when you buy it out of when you cheat and buy it out of a packet in the supermarket, which I do all the time. So it is in fact chickpeas. We're having a very, very strong round. Some foodies amongst us. One person putting black beans, 2 putting pinto, but the overwhelming majority putting chickpeas. Well done. Again, we'll move straight on into another recipe question. Here we go. A classic Caesar salad contains Romaine lettuce, Parmesan cheese, and croutons. But what else? Think hard about this. A Caesar salad, a classic one. Is it chicken, bacon, cream, or egg yolks? This one is a little bit harder than the few previous. I actually got this one wrong when I tried to work it out earlier. Which other ingredient goes with a classic Caesar salad? Just waiting for a couple more answers. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. I'm afraid a classic Caesar salad actually comes with egg yolks. Our engineer, who I tested this out on earlier, got that right as well. So well done to Nathan, who puts in the hard work behind the scenes here. 116 of you guessing incorrectly that it is chicken. I'm afraid that is incorrect. And it's not bacon either. And a lot of you losing your streak there, no surprise. Not a lot happening at the top of the leaderboard. And that concludes our recipe round. Well done. Round number 6 is a photo round. You're going to get 5 photographs of an iconic moment in history. And then you're going to get a few options at what year that took place. So it's as simple as that, really. Let's get on with it. Your next question. Dan says egg yolk, you're having my eyes out. He's not having my Caesar salad, apparently. Next question, please. When did this event take place? Have a look at that photograph. Was that taking place in 2017, 2016, 2015 or 2014? That is the Trump inauguration. Which year did it take place? Of course, be very careful. Think about when the US election takes place, what time of the year, and then when the inauguration happens. It's quite easy to get that one a little bit mixed up. Let's have a look. Let's see. It was in fact 2017. A lot of you putting 2016. I'm afraid he won the election in November 2016, but he was then inaugurated, as you can see in that photograph. That was, of course, in January 2017. January is of when all the inaugurations take place in the US. Quite a few of you getting that one wrong, I'm afraid. Next question, please. Imps up into 5th place. Let's have another photo, please. Which year did this concert take place? Pretty iconic concert. Look very, very closely. Is that 1980, 1985, 1990 or 1995? If you look very closely, it is the Live Aid concert, Feed the World, at Wembley Stadium. In fact, if you look very, very, very closely, right up at the stage, there is in fact a year there. Very, very small text. So an even deeper clue. It was indeed 1985. Well done if you put 1985, of course. 35 years this year until that concert. See if that's had any changes to the leaderboard. A lot more of you getting that one right. It just sneaks up Imps into 4th place and up 8 places. Just one more Finn. Well done to you. Let's have another photo, please, of an iconic moment in history. When did this event take place? Very iconic photo there in history. Was that in 1970, 1980, 1990 or 2000? Of course, Nelson Mandela. Which year did that event take place? Very iconic moment in South African history. Can you work out though which year did that take place? Still waiting for a couple more answers. 151 of you. Straight in, there we go, 1990. Over 100 of you putting 1990. Well done. Space Yeti 76 now up into second place. And well done to Imps, still holding strong. It's all still pretty tight up the top of the leaderboard, but not a lot of change happening. So I can only assume you're all just flying high this evening with lots of correct answers. Well done. Let's have another iconic photograph, please. Here we go. In which year, did this event take place? Was it 2006, 2008, 2010, or 2012? That is David Cameron and Nick Clegg. They just formed a coalition government. In which year did it take place? Outside of 10 Downing Street there, of course. Have a little rethink to when that happened. It was 2010, 10 years ago this year, that coalition took place. Well done, you put 2010. Eric the Westie snuck up onto the leaderboard for the first time this evening. Well done to you, into 5th place. 28 of you, 3 on the trot. Let's have a final iconic moment in a photograph. When did this big wedding happen? It was on the 29th of April, but was that in 2008, 2009, 2010 or 2011? The wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton. Which year did it happen? Maybe have a think. It was the 29th of April, so it was their anniversary not too long ago. How many years were they celebrating though? It was 9 years. Well done if you put 2011. I remember that, it was a Friday and you got the day off. So I spent it wisely on the golf course. There we go. Granny Ainge is up 15 places. Well done to Granny Ainge. And Simply Me is now back up onto the leaderboard into 5th place. Here we go. It's that time of the week again already. Round number 7, final round, 10 questions of general knowledge. Let's have it. Good luck. Positions to play for. A calorie is a measurement of what? Is it energy, fat, sugar, or protein? Have a think. Calorie is a measurement of what? I think you learned this in science classes back in the day. So have a little think. Again, if you've got a teenager on the sofa who's been revising, give them a little nudge, or you might just know it. There's a little clue for you there in the photograph. Is a calorie a measurement of energy, fat, sugar, or protein? It is in fact energy. Well done if you put energy. Congratulations. Most of you getting that one right. Curly back in it with 3 in a row. Let's have another general knowledge question. What is the longest river in the UK? And you've got a photo of it right there as well with the iconic bridge. Is that the River Trent, the River Severn, the River Thames, or the River Clyde? Of course, that bridge going over from England to Wales, Wales to England as well. Another clue for you. What is the name of, firstly, that bridge and the river, which is the longest river in the UK? Good evening to any Welsh players we have this evening. It is indeed the River Severn, and that was the Severn Bridge. Well done if you put the River Severn that you cross on your way into Wales or on your way into England if you're Welsh. 17 of you, 6 in a row. This is when those streaks start to matter a bit. You can get 100% on the way in now. You're flying up the leaderboard. I'm afraid Champagne Crew as well. You've just been knocked off for the first time in a very long time. Come on, I'm counting on you. Well, on to Space Yeti 76 though, up the top. Right, let's have another general knowledge question before I run out of breath. In which year was the video game Fortnite first released? Very addictive game, I hear. Was it 2013, 2015, 2017 or 2019? In which year was the video game Fortnite first released? And I'm glad you can't really see the bottom of my body. I'm trying to floss and I can't. So there we go. Nathan, the poor engineer who I previously mentioned, has just got a very puzzled, bewildered look on his face. It was indeed 2017. Well done if you put 2017. 83 of you getting that one right. I think we've got a lot of gamers in the house this evening. It moves shot to quiz, or too hot, sorry, I'll say that again because it's important. Too hot to quiz, up into 5th place. And well done to Bernard Castle, back in it with 3 in a row. Kermit's off on one again. Champagne Crew and Space Yeti 76. There's a matter of 500 points in it. So literally you could both get 100% on the way in, but it could almost just be down to fastest finger. So it's all important at this stage. It's not just about getting the answer right. Get your finger on those buzzers. Spanish striker Aritz Aduriz retired from football this week. He played most of his games for which club? Is that Real Sociedad, Atletico Madrid, Valencia or Athletic Bilbao? There he is in his strip there as well, so there's a bit of a clue for you. Try and work that one out. It's a little bit of a red herring as well, because a couple of those teams play in red and white. Aritz Aduriz retired from football this week, and he played most of his games for Athletic Bilbao. I'm afraid if you put Atletico Madrid, nice try with a guess of the photo, I'm afraid it was Athletic Bilbao. Any Spanish football fans playing tonight? Not a lot of change there up the top. A couple of good answers from the top 2. The Duke's now up into 3rd place, and Too Hot to Quiz flying up the leaderboard now into 4th place. Well done. Let's have another general knowledge question. Only a few more to go. Mr. David Beckham, Golden Balls, made a cameo in which movie released in 2005? One of my favourite films. Was it Goal, The Dream Begins, Green Street, Kicking and Streaming, or that should be Bend It Like Beckham, not Bennett Like Beckham. That is a typo. Is that Goal, The Dream Begins, Green Street, Kicking and Screaming, or Bend It Like Beckham? The shackles are off this week, aren't they? Blimey. Sack the host, I say. It is Goal, The Dream Begins. A bit of a red herring there, Bend It Like Beckham, I'm afraid. Goal, The Dream Begins. He makes a very small cameo in. I'm afraid 8 of you have lost your streak there. Still tight up the top. 2 correct answers. A correct answer from Space 76, just nipping ahead. Not a lot of change elsewhere. Let's have another general knowledge question, please. Here we go. This one is for the beer drinkers amongst you. According to YouGov, which is the most popular beer brand in the UK? Again, another typo. Come on. Is it San Miguel, which sounds like a slightly more sprucey version of San Miguel? Heineken, Carlsberg, or Stella Artois? San Miguel. Heineken, Carlsberg, or Stella Artois? Maybe have a think about back when you could go to your local. What were people drinking at the bar? I don't think it was San Miguel, but there we go. You get the drift. It is in fact Stella Artois. I don't think we're that cheap. We don't quite go for the Carlsberg too often. But Stella Artois is indeed the correct answer. The most popular beer brand in the UK. Who would have known? I went on to Team MK. I believe last week's winners now up into 5th place. And the Baxters snuck up into 4th place. So 2 there, sneaking onto the leaderboard. And well done to Champagne Crew, back up the top. Here we go. Rory says, Lordy, this encyclopedia you lent me for this quiz is rubbish. Don't think he's doing too well. Good banter there, Lordy, thank you. Let's have another question, please. In Peep Show, what is the name of the block of flats that Mark and Jeremy live in? Is it Lunar House, Apollo House, Solar House, or Eclipse House? Any Peep Show fans out there? Mark and Jeremy, Mark Corrigan, and I can't even remember Jeremy's last name. Show myself up. Osborne, there we go. Where do they live? Which house? Is it a block of flats? Is it Lunar House, Apollo House, Solar House, or Eclipse House? I think Mark becomes the sort of chairman of the house as well. It's very funny. It is in fact Apollo House. About half of you there, Peep Show fans. Some of you putting Lunar House. I'm afraid it was Apollo House. So again, only half of you getting that one right. chops and changes up the top of the leaderboard. Another Dominic Cummings gag making it on to the leaderboard into 5th place. Miley P, 3 in a row. Champagne Crew just above, still in 1st place. Josh saying, am I hungover? I don't even know what that is, I'm afraid. No idea, Josh. Moving on, another question. What is the square root of 36? A simple mathematical question here for you. Is it 6, 12, 8 or 4? 6, 12, 8 or 4. What is the square root of 36? Come on. No calculators, please. Phones away. What is the square root of 36? 6, 12, 8 or 4. Something times by itself. It is in fact 6. Well done. If you put 6, that is the square root of 36. 6 times 6 equals 36. Right, we're right into crunch time now. And that was a pretty easy question. So it was down to fastest finger, and Baxter's got in there pretty quick. Well done. They're into 3rd place. Right, we're right down into the penultimate question of tonight's quiz, which is, what is the main ingredient in gnocchi, the Italian dish gnocchi? Is it corn flour, wheat flour, Italian flour, or potato? What is the main ingredient in gnocchi? Gnocchi. You got a little photographic clue there as well. What do you reckon that pasta is made out of? Again, I'm going to have to stop putting too many food questions in here. It's just getting me peckish again. Nightmare. It is potato. Well done. It's a pasta made out of potato. Of course, many of them made out of flour. Again, pretty well answered question. So all of you up the top getting that one right. Well done to Sazarat Quizzer though. Highest climber in that one. Up 7 places. Fluffy Popchick says, love you, the Pearls. Well done, the Pearls. Good evening to you. Here we go. Final question. Come on, the Champagne Crew. Who painted the Scream? There is the photograph. Is it Pablo Picasso, Salvador Dali, Edvard Munch, Vincent van Gogh? Which painter painted the Scream? Which artist painted the Scream? Was it Pablo Picasso, Salvador Dali, Edvard Munch, or Vincent van Gogh? There is your photograph. Any artists, enthusiasts amongst you? It is Edvard Munch. 72 of you getting that one right, which is about 50-50. So, come on, Champagne Crew. You got this. Dan says picture rounds next week, please, for Lordy. Lots of banter flying in this week. Keep it up. Let's have it next week as well. Let's see how the leaderboard has ended up after 40 questions. The big quiz night in number 8 podium goes like this. In 3rd place, the Baxters. In second place, Space Yeti 76. And in 1st place, Champagne Crew. Well done, Champagne Crew. I think they've been playing every single week. Congratulations. Thank you very much all for playing. I promise you next week, it's not bank holiday weekend. I think we need a chilled out one next week. I'm not going to resign either, all right? I've done nothing wrong here. It's all legal. It's all above board. We'll see you next week. Thank you very much for playing, as always, getting involved as well. It's been lots of fun. Quiz number 8, complete. Well done. See you next week. Thank you and good night.